government of India is also pushing, setting up these targets for the ports to shift to renewable energies, etc. And this is also very important. So not why we're just talking about green ammonia, green hydrogen, but there are other forms which are also very available. We heard about offshore wind farms. I think that's another aspect that needs to be tapped on. With this, Ajay, if you could also just throw some light in terms of the technology for any aspects that are being looked at, which can be propagated, etc., in this transition, etc. So it's not just one effort that we see on various aspects that multiple efforts across the system need to be taken.
Thank you. So this is Ajay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is I'm from BNB, and thanks for the question. To go ahead with this, there are different technologies in the maritime sector for reducing the emissions, basically. Number one would be, I would say, digitalization or ship of route optimization. You can reduce the speed, you can optimize the route, basically, so that you have a less emission. Of course, alternative fuels, talking about the green ones, which is the green hydrogen, green ammonia, biofuels, which are more relevant towards the green side of it. And then we have, of course, LNG as well, but then I'm talking more on the green side. Then we have coal mining for the coals, basically, which is not using the auxiliary power of the engine, but using the electricity from the coal. We also have battery-operated vessels. For example, in India, which is KMRL, and DNB is considered for them as well. So there is last DNB as well in the same part. So these are some of them, I would say. And then if you see this Harit Sagar guideline from the government, they have put 3 phases into it, and saying that first will be in 2023 the port have to be into minimum side, and then Indian Navy vessels, and then excellent vessels, which is commercial vessels. So there are initiatives going on, and some of them which I mentioned about the technologies. As well as I want to include here, there are different options as well as hydrodynamics, hull cleaning, optimizing the design, basically. There could be machinery, part of the vessel. There is CCUS, which is carbon capture, usage and storage. So there are different technologies in the industry, talking about the maritime perspective, which should be taken into consideration.
Thank you. And why do you say that, all the technology, the shipping sector itself is so diverse, if you're looking at maritime, I'm not looking at the long voyage or the long haul. There's a lot of short sea shipping, coastal movements, inland waterway movements. I know if you could throw some light, Norway has been one of the forefront runners, and we've heard a lot of collaboration between India and Norway. And as an organization, we one of the largest suppliers. So if you could throw some light on how this transition occurs and how you've seen the change in these, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, sure. I'll throw some light and use some experiences from Europe or Norway, but I mean, I would also like to make a note that Norway is tiny compared to India. So I think the energy transition or in general, from our view, it's quite challenging to discuss that for the entire country, because it's just too much. So that's why I think some of the teams like usually are maritime clusters. I mean, I've been working with them very closely, and it's quite important to start. I can give some of my personal experience from actually port electrification. Because it was something that actually started so many years ago in Norway, and was a government kind of driven program. And the idea was that there was a regulation in Norway that you have to power, if a ship is basically bunkering or if a ship is like offloading goods, and so they have to be electrified. And that actually meant that, the ships have to be slightly different, they can't use their diesel generator, but the port has to operate their facilities, and the ports are not for power generation. I mean, you can take about these days, and most of the time, even the grid companies have changed because you don't plan the ports in a way that they need to provide power. So it's not a cascading effect in a way. I mean, that's why I just hope that, industry colleagues here, that we really need to think the ecosystem. How is the vessel going to do it? How is the port going to do it? And then how will the grid companies help this process? So it's not a problem that actually involves everyone. And that's why I think, again, I just go back. like I said, local level organization like Future Maritime Cluster is quite important because it's too difficult for someone to understand every individual port or the vessel or the power company to understand from a distance. And that's number one. Number two, actually, I think when it comes to the fuel, in Norway there was a significant government push to use or to experiment with some of the electric vessels, which are actually manufactured in Cochin as well. So these are autonomous electrical ferries that go from one side of the, let's say, fjord to another side and come back. It took a while. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it was not that cheap. But it happened. And again, if I compare today, like what the cost of electricity, let's say in India, if you were to use diesel generator, it's like 16, it's kind of for a mobile application, and the power for that would be a fraction of that. So, in a way, there is, I think, a cost already in some parts, you can make it happen, cost competitive. The cheaper part is really when it comes when you want to do more, like methanol or ammonia. For example, in methanol, I think the e-methanol or the green alternative is double. Like in ammonia, if you reverse, the cost is also double, like when you take green methanol versus gray methanol. It's not tripling on in general in Europe. So, in that case, I mean, still, there is some, how can I say, the positive side to learn market like where there was the first methanol option, and actually the company who was doing it, they were pretty much like, they don't need too much subsidy, they claim, but so what I mean is that I think the examples that I see in Norway or in Europe are promising, but they're quite stepwise, and they need to address the entire ecosystem, and I think they try to do it at the local level as much as possible. And again, like for futuristic alternatives like methanol or like ammonia, I think there are promising signs, but I think that will take a bit more time. And that's more than I think the cost that has to be slightly it's impossible for someone to buy double or triple the cost